Hey man, you want a kiss?
Oh my god, I never had a kiss before.
Yeah? You excited?
I'm so excited.
Here I come.
Oh my god. What? That's it?
Yep. Bye.
A lot of things in life can be disappointing. We often have an idea of how things should happen, or there's something that we want to happen. But when things don't turn out that way, we often end up feeling, like what I just said, disappointed. Imagine going on a beach vacation, only to face 2 weeks of non-stop rain. Disappointing. Or being hyped for months about an upcoming movie, but it turns out to be trash.
He was bending tiny stones at us from behind a tree. It really hurt.
What the f***? Also disappointing. Or, let's say that you and your family were about to go on a 14-hour flight and your Uncle Sven had gone on that exact same trip with the same airline a couple of months prior and kept going on and on about how amazing it was, that every single passenger had their own personal TV screen and they could pick any movie you wanted independent of what the other passengers were watching, and you were so excited because you were 10 years old and you had never seen or heard of such luxury before, but after months of hype and bragging to your classmate about the lavish and customizable experience you were going to enjoy, you board the plane, you sit down, you flip down the food tray to reveal 13 glorious inches of absolutely nothing. You, Sven, for getting my hopes up. I understand that what's disappointing to one person might sound silly to another, but today I wanted to share the most heartbreaking and disappointing event of my entire childhood. Like any good story, this one starts with Harry Potter. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Lived. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4, Privet Drive, were proud to say that they were perfectly normal, thank you very much. They were the last people you'd expect to be involved in anything strange or mysterious, because they just didn't hold with such nonsense. Mr. Dursley was a big beefy man with hardly any neck, although he did have a very large moustache. Mrs. Dursley was thin and blonde and had nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which came in very useful as she spent so much of her time craning over garden fences, spying on the neighbors. The Dursleys had a small son called Dudley, and in their opinion there was no finer boy.
Then rich boy Harry showed up, flexed his awesome spells, ordered his butler Hagrid to turn poor Dudley into a pig, chased tiny balls on his broom, and pissed off a man with no nose. The end.
Alright, joke aside, the year was 2001. I was just a wee little boy and Harry Potter was blowing up. Everyone was talking about it, except me. I guess my family's house was located under a rock or something, because even though there were 4 books released and the first movie was just about to hit the theater, I had never even heard of this dude. Somehow, without knowing what it was, we ended up going to the movie premiere, and I loved it.
Yeah!
The very next day, I ran to the bookstore and bought The Philosopher's Stone, The Chamber of Secrets, and The Prisoner of Azkaban. My parents didn't like that I spent the majority of my time gaming, so they were quite happy to pay for the books if it meant keeping me away from the computer screen. And oh my god, did that magical little boy keep me away from the computer screen. I don't think I've ever read that much in such a short amount of time before in my life. And to be honest, I don't think I have since either. The reason I loved them so much was because even though they were essentially children's books, they didn't shy away from showing the darkness in life. I mean, in the first book, Voldemort literally murders Harry's parents, possesses Mr. Quirrell, who then tries to kill him several times. The two-faced bastard then slices up an actual unicorn, the creature every child loves, then chugs its silver blood in his quest for immortality, and then tries to kill Harry again, just for good measure. The fact that J.K. Rowling didn't go out of her way to sugarcoat these things made me feel respected, because unlike most children's book authors, she knew I could handle it, and I appreciated that. Although, to be fair, that's my analysis now. At the time, I was probably like, this book has magic in it. So, I had finished the first 3 books, seen the movie, and I was thirsty for more. What could possibly be the next step? What would be my next move?
Oh my god, they made a game out of it!
As I mentioned previously, I was a bit of a gamer, and the thought of actively experiencing this magical world and casting my own spells in the game, rather than just reading or watching it, made me much excited. Luckily for me, Christmas was just around the corner. I don't remember all the things I wished for in that year, but I do remember the top 3. At 3rd place was the 4th book in the series, The Goblet of Fire. At 2nd place was the hot off the press, very first, super awesome Harry Potter game. At 1st place, the thing I wished for more than anything else was a PlayStation 1 Slim. Which is strange, because while doing research for this video, I realized the PlayStation 2 was already out. It had been released in Europe the year before this. I don't know, I guess I was stupid or something. Moving on. Anyways, I really wanted this PlayStation, like, more than you can imagine. But the sad truth was that I knew it wasn't going to happen. You see, there are 2 things you need to understand about my parents. 1, they do not like to spend money on unnecessary things. And 2, they do not understand nor like tech stuff. Buying books to keep my brain from rotting. Yes, relatively cheap and necessary. Buying this expensive sorcery box so that my brain could rot even more. No. Extremely unlikely. Besides, this wasn't the first time I had wished for a console. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color were all things I'd wished for in previous years. But all those dreams have been obliterated by these Neanderthals also known as my dear mother and my dear father, who I absolutely love because of all their support. Yay. In hindsight, I wonder if they actually had some kind of internal rule that they would never get us the things we wanted the most. Because I can remember many birthdays and Christmases where me and my sister wouldn't get whatever held the number 1 spot, even if it wasn't a tech thing.
Let's see. Number 2 spot, a jacket.
Yeah, they can have a jacket. And next?
Number 1, hugs.
No hugs!
Makes you wonder what would have happened if the PlayStation was my second biggest wish instead of my first. Anyways, I don't want this video to just be me dissing my parents. There was actually one time that they got me something amazing. Only one! I think I was around 7 at the time. And in some store somewhere, I had spotted this dope Mickey Mouse flashlight. I remember this super clearly, okay? The base was red. It featured a yellow power switch and a yellow ring upwards towards the upper end. The actual cone that held the light bulb was black and had Mickey Mouse ears on it. As you can see, it was objectively awesome. The second I saw it, I got obsessed. And you know what? They bought it for me. Yup. Right then and there. I don't know why exactly, but I loved that flashlight. Well, I mean, I do know why. Because it was awesome! For the rest of that day, I kept running around playing with it and shining it at things in the house. And later that night, when it was bedtime, I kept trying to be sneaky by keeping my flashlight under the blanket so that my parents wouldn't see the light. But, of course, they noticed, because parents, am I right? And they told me to stop. I pretended to go to sleep, waited for 10 minutes, and started playing again. They kept busting me. FBI, open up! And I kept trying to play with it. After a couple of hours, I got so tired that I just couldn't play anymore. I placed my sweet, sweet flashlight on the bedside table next to me, kissed it goodnight, and fell asleep, dreaming of all the awesome things I was gonna flash the next day. The next day, I wake up, smile, as I look to the side, and it's not there. And I don't mean not there as in them having confiscated it. No, I mean not there as in it never existed. It was all a dream. That's right. The one time they got me the thing I wanted the most. And it was just a dream. So, knowing all this, you know I was not going to get that PlayStation. Or was I? Come Christmas Eve, we just had our holiday dinner and it was time to open gifts. I opened a couple of presents, smaller things that had been lower on my wish list. After a while, I came across this very specific wrap shape.
Just like I wanted, Mom and Dad. The 4th Harry Potter book. Thank you very much.
Check. I said my thanks and continued opening gifts. Soon after, it happened again. Another easily identifiable shape. If you ever got a wrap DVD or a PC game, you know what I mean. You can feel the indentation where the cartridge opens with your finger through the wrapping paper. Excitedly, I opened the gift and sure enough, it was the PC version of the first Harry Potter.
Holy shit, it's the PlayStation version!
I couldn't believe it. But since they got me a PlayStation game and I have a big brain, that meant that in one of my other unopened gifts, there was going to be a PlayStation console. And I was excited.
Thank you so much.
Haha, glad you like it, son.
Like it?
I love it.
I'm so excited.
Well, we're glad. Let's set it up when we get home.
Yeah, I'm so pumped. I'm gonna play it in bed.
In bed? What do you mean?
I have that old TV you gave me in my bedroom, remember?
Yeah, but you have to play it on the computer.
But it's a PlayStation game.
What? No. It's for the PC.
That's right. My parents were so technically incompetent that they had bought me the PlayStation version of the game, thinking it was for the PC. For a minute, I thought it was some kind of sick joke, but no. They had never intended on giving me a PlayStation. I know it sounds silly, but honestly, I've never been so disappointed in my entire childhood. You f***ed up! You Neanderthals! You would think that they'd feel so guilty of the mistake that they would just go out and buy the console. But no, not my parents. The very next day, I myself had to walk to the game store and swap out my dreams for the garbage PC version of the game. I kept waiting for them to pop out of some bush somewhere and reveal it was all just a joke. But no, I never did get that PlayStation.
I'll never let go. I promise.
But you know what? In the end, I'm happy that I didn't. Yeah, sure. 10-year-old me was angry and upset. At the time, it felt super unfair that all my friends would get not only one, but all the latest consoles for their birthdays and Christmases. And I wouldn't even get one. Ever. But in my humble opinion, a lot of the people that get everything they point at tend to grow up to be less motivated to work hard for the things they want later in life. And while I can't in any way say that I'm perfect, my parents did teach me the value of working for the things I wanted. And it turned out they had another reason as well. Years later, I found out that my parents had avoided the more expensive gifts on purpose to instead save up money for when me and my sister got older. Because when we got older, we were mature enough to know what we really cared for and what we truly wanted to do in life. And that's when they used that money. Among other things, they bought us nice instruments and equipment when we got serious about music, and their support is the biggest reason that I could even afford to pursue a creative career until I could eventually pay for my own bills. And for that reason, in the end, I'm not disappointed, but instead forever grateful.
Psych! I've kidnapped your favorite flower, Mom, and if I haven't received my PlayStation by the time this video ends, I'll snap it.
While we wait to hear back from my mom about the PlayStation, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys. Like, my last video, the first video I uploaded to this channel, I was not expecting, like, the amount of views and love you guys gave it. So I'm, like, super duper stoked about that. So, like, thanks so much. And if you made it to the end to this video, yo, you're my hero, what can I say? If you like what I do, share with your friends, hit that notification bell, because, you know, I don't know when the next video will be up, but, you know, I'm gonna start on it right now. In fact, I'm working on it right now. Oh, who's that?
I got the PlayStation!
Oh, a PlayStation 5.
But I wanted the PlayStation 1 Slim!